Hello and welcome to another episode of Dallas Watch. Now we are probably, when you're videoing or watching this, it's probably somewhere at the end, near the end of March. And then we're out of the primary season. That's already been settled. But there's another election coming up before the one in the fall. There's another one coming up in May. Now, you don't get to vote on that. All right, it's only certain people get to vote on that within each party, and it's an important election, but you can influence it by voicing your opinion to your precinct chairs and so on and so forth. By the time you see this, I will have been elected as a precinct chair. I had run for precinct chair 11-17 for the Republican Party, and I won. And how did I win? Because nobody was running against me. All right. So that scared them to death. Actually, there was somebody in that, and when they found out I was running, they decided not to run. So I can't blame them for getting out. But here's what I'm going to start this with a story. Imagine a crew is working through the jungle. They're trying to clear a path through the jungle. They've got to clear a road. The workers are hacking away with their machetes, and you got the managers that are making the schedules, and they're encouraging the machete wielders to continue on, continue on. You guys break for lunch, you guys go on. Yeah, you guys are doing great. Get those blisters fixed, whatever. And then the leader climbs up on the tallest tree, and he looks around and he hollers down to the crew, "Wrong jungle." And the managers yell back, "Shut up, we're making progress." Well, a lot of organizations can get like that. They get blinded and they don't really see what they're going, and you really need a good leader. Now, where am I going with this? Because the state party, the Republican Party for the state of Texas, and all states do this, they need to elect a leader, the party chairman for the entire state. Now, normally you never hear about this, and I'd never really heard about this till I started getting involved in politics a couple of years ago. You've got James Dickey, who is the current GOP chairman for the state of Texas, and he's pretty good by all accounts. He's a good hard worker. This is what you hear about him. He's raised money for the state GOP. He gets down there, he knocks on doors, and he gets his hands dirty and rolls up his sleeves and get after it. It's a good hard worker, and he's been pretty good. But he's got a challenger this year. This challenger is Lieutenant Colonel Allen West. I don't think I know who you need to tell you who Allen West is, but you see him on TV all the time. I've met him. Great guy. I've not met Mr. Dickey, but I've heard about him. He's a good guy for all intents and purposes. My wife, Carmen, has met him, Lieutenant Colonel West. He's a good guy. And no doubt he brings star quality to this, and you need star quality to raise funds. And he's a retired Army colonel, so he has that leadership training. So what's facing the state and these state electors that we're going to elect the party chairman, again, it's not us, the great unwashed, it's these state electors. They're going to elect him at a meeting in May, and they've got to decide whether they want a good manager or they want a good leader. I think either way will be fine with the state. I think that's going to be a good one, but it is playing out, and it's playing out. There's some strong feelings on both sides about this. So who knows how it's going to come out, but we'll know when it happens, and we'll see what goes on. So there's that one, but I'll cover some other things with you on this. Now, we're pretty much through with politics from here on out until because we got November coming up. The elections in November, general elections, it's a presidential year, so there's going to be a lot of activity, a lot of news. And beginning probably right after Labor Day, which I believe is going to be September the 4th, we'll probably start doing this all over again. We'll start covering certain races. We'll do like state reps and state legislators, or state reps and state senators. And then we may go U.S. senators, and we may go, all the other ones. As we come down into the local and get closer down until the election on the first Tuesday in November. Now, also, maybe by the time, I've got a crew working on, and the crew that's here with me right now, we're working on enhancing this. I told you I get better as I go along. I've always got room for improvement, and boy, do I have room for improvement. But we're working on getting a website. All right, we're working on getting podcasts. We're working on probably maybe do some blogs. We even had a little fun here and talked about, maybe I'll come up here and sit in here with a glass of scotch and have an advertiser, like Ron White does. No, I probably won't do that. But we're looking at different things. And so I'm recording this on February the 14th. Maybe by the time you see this or not long after, the format may change a little. I may start having visitors in from time to time. I know I'm going to bring my wife in at one time. She's going to be not only charming, but she's entertaining. I may bring in this guy, Chris Carter. We'll speak about what's going on with the memorial and things with the Alamo. I may bring in this guy, Rick Range, who has run for the land commissioner in the past. Didn't do well, but he's a force on this, and he was very helpful in my campaign as well. But we'll also start covering more of Dallas and what's going on in Dallas. And I want to tell you, Dallas is a target-rich atmosphere for stuff to go on. I tell you, this reminds me of there's so much stuff I could cover regarding Dallas that is just mind-boggling. It reminds me the first time I ever went quail hunting. And I don't know if none of you have been quail hunting before. This was back in the 60s, back when we had a lot of quail in Texas. You just quail walks along in the bushes and in the grasses and stuff like that. They don't fly a lot until you get real close to them, and all of a sudden they flutter up, and it scares the hell out of you. And that's what happened to me. And so all of a sudden I walk up, and I just have this little 410 shotgun. I'm maybe 9 years old. All these quail pop up, and I go, Dad, which one? He goes, just shoot. And so I shot, and I got 2 of them. So that's the way it is here in the city of Dallas. I've got to start narrowing down my focus to try to figure out on what things we're going to focus on. But it will either be safety related, it'll either be road related, or it'll be parks related. So that's what we're going to be doing. So look forward to that in the spring. And anyway, that wraps it up for today. You guys have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. I really appreciate you tuning in to watch the show. Please hit the like and share button and share it with your friends and family. If you'd like to give us some feedback, we'd love to hear from you. Just email us at dallaswatch2020@gmail.com. Also, please consider a tax-deductible donation. You can go to www.returnlee.org. And also, don't forget, tune in every Friday, 7:30 Dallas time. New episode comes out of Dallas Watch. See you then. So long.